Welcome to the Business Acquisition Summit Expert Interview Series. Today I'm here with Connor Young. Connor is an investor, entrepreneur, and connector. He specializes in helping to find small to medium-sized business acquisition opportunities for investors and family offices. He's the owner of the SMB Off-Market newsletter, which has thousands of subscribers. He's also the co-founder of Kairo Data, which allows investors to search over 18 million businesses to identify owner contact information and off-market deal opportunities. Welcome, Connor.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Quick disclaimer before we jump in. We may be investors in or earn a commission from the people or businesses featured in this series. All investment involves risk. Please do your own independent research before making business or investing decisions. So, Connor, thanks again for coming on. Really excited to dive into this with you today. We connected originally, because you're the owner of the SMB Off-Market newsletter, which is, doing some exciting things as well as Kairo Data. So maybe just kick off and kind of start talk about your background a little bit and kind of how you arrived to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate you having me on. Backgrounds, I guess, call it boring or straightforward or simple, but got into the world of investing at an early age and graduated school in 2016 and started working in Austin, Texas at a large financial institution. So had, tons of learning opportunities with lots of great clients and investors, doing a lot of the traditional investing, call it wealth management, portfolio management, estate planning, financial planning. And then in 2020, decided to break off. I was working with my now current co-founder, Braden James, at the time. And then in 2020, I feel like everybody knows this, the whole world changed. We had a bunch of clients and then mutual clients that we continue to stay in touch with, keep working with. And because the world changed, they not only were interested in different investment opportunities, but hey, can you guys look into alternatives for us? So like commercial real estate, some private equity, all sorts of different things where they involved us with underwriting, research, analysis, running the numbers, and that was really great. We learned a lot, and we started branching off, and this arm of the business is great. But then they asked us the super big question in 2020, which was, hey guys, I love looking at these deals, but they're bidding wars, or the broker's flaking out on me, or if it's a property or a small business that they were trying to dive after, they just couldn't get a hold of the owner. And they asked us, can you find these types of opportunities off market? And in 2020, man, we did not know how to do that at all. But we said, you know what? We'll try to figure it out, and we'll just be patient with us. And clients loved it. They loved our initiative. And over the last 4 years, we've failed 500 million times, it feels like, but we've learned so much, built out tons of teams and systems and everything to really get this up and running, to find businesses of every size, caliber, and connect them directly to our clients with handling all the outbound outreach and most importantly, our data. Figuring out that the biggest players out there, these databases that everybody seems to run to, doesn't really have the most accurate or correct data. And also on top of that, they just don't do a good job of like connecting these buyers or investors directly with the businesses.
Yeah, I love that. Um, it seems like during that time, those lessons that you learned of like what's working, what's not working, kind of helped shape the direction that you guys went into.
Mhm.
With Cairo Data, how do you solve those issues, where you're able to contact the business owner or you're getting that up-to-date information?
Yeah, so data being the crucial part of everything, right? Think of the building, it's the foundation. So if you don't have that foundation set up correctly, everything falls apart, truthfully. And we learned that the hard way. We paid all the heavy money to the big databases out there in 2020, just trying to figure out like, hey, how do I get ABC painting company or landscaping companies, business owners, contact details, such as like phone number, email, address, you name it. And I was just learning, to the point of getting very frustrated and disappointed with the results from these mega databases that we said, what if we just sourced it ourselves and we're able to find it online? And then enter the picture Dylan, our CTO, who's brilliant. The guy speaks computers. He was able to build tons of programs and things that we just run on computers. Like off screen right here, I have two computers running full time and just getting tons of data online. And the simple way that I understand how it works is, let's say you have a roofing company, and it could be Big Tall Roofing Company, LLC, whatever the name is. We can take that, connect it to, or just basically source a Facebook page, a Yelp page, a Google Business Database, or anything that might have contact details or anything. Pull business owner name, pull social link, pull an email address, pull that business owner's cell phone number, put it all into one record, and then push that into our database. And it just does that nonstop. So when we're trying to get the data,
Constantly updating.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off if you wanted to finish that last part.
No, 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 you're good. Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it pushes all records and stuff into the database. And we're still trying to perfect it. Like nothing's 100% correct, but I don't want to badmouth any names on here, but think of your, biggest players out there. I can say something about Apollo because I actually really like Apollo. They've got really accurate data. There's some out there that don't, but the thing that Apollo lacks in is having every single landscaping company or HVAC company or plumbing company. They focus on a ton of other really great, powerful industries. That's not really your blue collar mom and pop or service businesses. And we saw that as a huge gap. And we said, what if we were basically the Apollo that can come in and do that?
So from the investor side and the buy side as well, you're seeing a lot of demand for those blue collar opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Lots of search funds, lots of independent sponsored investors, individuals just trying to get into the space. But then most, heavily PE firms. They love all sorts of different types of blue collar businesses. And we've had tons of clients find businesses and then not only buy, acquire, but then it's, hold it for just a handful, less than a year, and a PE firm comes knocking. And then that's the greatest ROI that they've been able to turn easily. So yeah, any and all the above are really interested in the blue collar SMB space.
Love that. So, you guys come in, are able to connect, investors with the right opportunities. And then it comes down to the relationship and the, purchasing process between those two parties. What are some tips you have for people on good questions to ask that encourage owners to sell?
So our whole focus since day one has been let's do off market because the on market game is crowded to say the least. It's really good and you have tons of great businesses that will list and be put out there, but you and everyone else are looking at them, right? Hence the bidding wars, the competition, everything else. So we said if somebody can just put in the time, Googling or going to Biz by Sell or just being able to find businesses there, our value add should be in the space that's not occupied off market and finding businesses open to not necessarily like, okay, yeah, give me an email or a call and now I'm immediately ready to talk to you. But finding businesses open to discussions, phone calls, maybe starting a negotiation. But my biggest piece of advice to all of our clients and investors, like when we start generating, coordinating with these different business owners, is, it's a lot like dating. Like you're not going to hop into that first date and they're going to show you their, P&L, their revenue, EBITDA for the last 3 years, that tax returns. It's a very relationship based discussion compared to, I think, more on market because hey, I know the song and dance. Here's my sim. Here are my financials. Let's go. For the off market world, it's way more. Let's get to know each other. Is this a perfect fit?
Yeah. Do you find that some people skip over that relationship part in the off market world and kind of pay the price for it?
Yeah, they have the expectation that it might just be just like the on market. And hey, I'm going to show up to this call and you bring all your financials. And then I just get to tell you yes or no. And that's not it. It's really a played out type of dance where you do feel each other out. You're trying to discern, is it a good investment? They're trying to discern, is this a legit buyer, investor? Will they know my business, get to run it? And that's crucial. And if you can key in on that, you set yourself up for like one of the best pros of being on market, or I'm sorry, being off market, which is sellers and owners may be quote unquote uneducated on what their true valuation should be. You'll have your sellers, owners that are, hey, pie in the sky number, 15x multiple, they're crazy. But you could have somebody who's, ready to sell at a 3x, and good grief, like they should really talk to somebody about the true valuation, because they might be 5 or 6x in terms of what they're producing in their business and everything else. So when we have investors, clients that are just jumping all over that, they love it.
That's great. Now, I know you also have, some specific deals that you've got in the pipeline right now for people. I know you mentioned a landscaping business in Denver.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wanted to kind of share with people, the types of opportunities you're coming across your desk right now here in towards the end of April 2024 here?
Yeah. I guess wrapping up this month and kind of the big initiative for 2024, the year in general, we haven't done this before, but I mean, their biggest thing has been deal flow. And whether it's for clients that we have and they may pass on a deal because something happens, their own financing falls out of whack, or maybe the business is too big, too small, or not growing fast enough. But these are really good, healthy businesses that aren't on Biz Buy Sell. They're not online. The only people that have talked to them are us. We're not brokers, so we're not trying to like list them under a crazy fee or anything. But we've started to just say, what if we made promotions out of it, right? Hence the newsletter that we just started, tail end of 2023, and that's taken off. That's been awesome. People just love free leads, talking to these businesses. But we've also established, hey, you can come to the website, and if you want the direct contact information to these businesses where they talk to us, they give us details, and then they say, hey, you're not a broker, but I understand that. Here's the best phone number and email for anyone interested in knowing more about the business, or talking, discussing, negotiating, to reach out. And we have that set up sort of, similar to our own Biz Buy Sell page. And people can look at those businesses. And I mean, we're doing tons and tons of vetting because we really want to dig in and put really great deals there. We've got hundreds in the hopper, and we're putting in 3 to 10 every week on that webpage. So yeah, the deal flow is there. And in my opinion, that's the biggest hurdle for investors trying to make great acquisitions, is actually having the volume to analyze, look at a deal, and then compare that to others that they may be looking at to determine if that's a really good one or not.
Yeah, and it seems it would also kind of, help fight against that concept of deal heat, where they've got one deal in the pipeline, and so all of a sudden they fall in love with it, even though it might not be the right fit.
Yeah.
Whereas if they kind of have this, increased deal flow, they're able to kind of approach things a little more measured way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, just from a personal note, I'm just curious, the role that you find yourself in, it sounds to me like from your background, you really had a enjoyable time trying to figure out a way to service the clients in the way that they wanted, and being that connector, and being and putting people, businesses, investors, beneficiaries all together. What do you love about this whole process?
I just love looking for and at deals. I think a lot of people like that, right? Hence, everybody, you might waste a few hours a month just scrolling on Zillow, right? You're not going to buy maybe all those houses, but it's kind of fun to like look at this or that. And this is, in my opinion, like the work that I do, sort of an extension of that. Like it's awesome. Like deep diving a certain roofing company that we're looking at right now in the Phoenix area, and going through their financials and understanding how the owner built the business and why he's wanting to leave. And, retirement is this, and this for him. And then he's got these managers and these systems and everything put in place. And here's the moat around his business. And these are the challenges he had and what he spent on marketing. And here's how he thinks, he wants the business to expand. But we kind of add in a second layer of microscope or lenses to look at it and determine what do we think of this business? Like, is this a really high opportunity, scalable type of growth business, or just analyzing it to determine what is, from an investment or investor point of view, this going to do for me? And I love that. It's so much fun.
No, that's great. Now I know, besides, the data aspect where, people can kind of, um, observe the deal flow that you guys have coming through, you also have, a service where you can, proactively, go out for a specific person and help them create deal flow, with, phone sales and lead generation. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah. That was the question that investors, clients asked in 2020. Hey, go find me more like this. Where, from that day one to now, it's like the cavemen building a fire to like where we're at today. It feels just like miles, millennia apart. And it's great because you need that type of growth and that ability to say, like, oh man, we knew nothing, had no systems, had no data, had, zilch. But today I've built it into something that's just, it's honestly just a machine. It's such a powerful machine. And we have clients that still ask us, like, hey, go find me off-market opportunities. I'm interested in landscaping, plumbing, and painting companies in the Southeast US. These cities, these states, this revenue, and maybe around this EBITDA, this SDE, give me this head count, how old the business is, everything, right? We go through a full buy box criteria questionnaire with clients, and then it's like, great. Love that this is what you're wanting. What we'll start with is giving you 1,000 plus leads, and it matches exactly what you're looking for. And then we handle all outbound outreach. So we do the emails, texts, and calls. And that has taken forever to not only get in place, figure out, but the training is so tough. And people, they tell me all the time, like, oh, I can get it, or I'll go hire an intern or VAs. I'm like, great. You got to put in so much time to train. And like, good for you. Like, you can put in the time to train. And if you're going to do this for years, decades long, it's good job. But people really underestimate like what that commitment is. And it's fine. Like, you kind of have to play the game and get into it, and then maybe you realize it. But that's where our service is really valuable for a lot of our clients who just say, I don't have the time to make 30, 40 plus hours of phone calls every single week. I don't have the time for the follow-up, the setting appointments, the note-taking, the emails, the lead gen, vetting, qualifying, cleaning, none of that. And that's great, because then this is what our service does. Just goes out there, finds these businesses out of the list of 1,000 we set people up with, and then talk to every single one, get all the information we can from them, book them directly on our client's calendar. And basically, not only like, hey, this person's interested in talking, this person's interested in talking directly to you, Mr. Client, right? So we had people reaching out on the phone. It's like, hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm Michael's assistant. Michael's super excited that, he can get to talk to you. He's free Friday at 12 p.m., just at lunch. Would love to set up a phone call for that. Would love to know more about the business too. Can you tell me more about your revenue, your EBITDA? Are you open to seller financing? Any and all the questions that people need to ask, we ask for them, and then give all those notes directly to our clients, just setting up that calendar appointment.
Yeah, that's nice. And then, the buyer can also approach the phone call, having that information so they can kind of get a sense if it's going to be a good fit from the get-go too,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So they get any and all details, and then, the seller owner is not only like, oh man, Michael's the best. Like, love that his assistant is well put together, organized, able to set up the call, and he sounds like a great guy, and looking forward to the call. They're actually excited to get to start to talk to someone, about discussing, negotiating, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Well, cool. Before we wrap up, anything that you want to talk about that we haven't covered here yet today?
No, I feel like, checking us out, if you go to kairodata.com, I'm sure, Michael, you'll have the link in the notes or everything else. But you can see the different ways that you can just, start using us in any capacity because we fit every searcher. So if you're just starting out and you just want to use the data, you can do that. If you want us to do a little bit more of a helping hand, we do that with just email initial outreach. That's on the pro plan. And then to do the full VIP targeted search service, we just basically set appointments for you and hand all these leads on a silver platter. That's a VIP, and we're super happy to talk to anyone and everyone about that. But the world in the SMB space, I mean, you've probably seen it too all the time on social media, man. Like everyone is getting into it. Everyone is seeing buying a business at, let's call it a 5x multiple, is so much better than buying a commercial real estate property at a 5 cap, or just what is essentially a 20x multiple of what they're making on their money. That's where the real estate or the commercial real estate game kind of is. And if you're buying a business at the complete opposite end, like you're looking like the winner. Definitely more work than running a property, but run the numbers. Everybody that I keep talking to is like, oh yeah, I've done the commercial real estate game, but now I really want to buy this plumbing business. I'm like, great. This is it, man.
Yeah, and it's a good fit for people who already have that skill set of being an investor operator. Like they can put their hands on the controls if need be, and they know how to drive that growth, right? Because like you said, it's a little more complex maybe than
Yeah,
other forms of investment. But for those who have an entrepreneurial business background, it's such a great opportunity, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We're really
awesome.
starting to see, like, I would say a big opening, or maybe just incoming types of clients are current business owners. Like this landscaping owner that's like, hey, I run these businesses in XYZ cities, and I need businesses. I need more right there. Go find them right now. And that's so interesting to me because technology is just making it way more efficient to run a landscaping business in several locations, not even the same state. That's crazy. And, taking advantage of that is, you're catching the wave, hopefully before everyone else does.
Yeah, that's great. Well, yeah, like you said, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll have a link below, from Business Acquisition Summit that'll lead to Connor's website. Also, because of some of our scheduling conflicts, we plan to have a speaker Q&A at the end of this, but we're not able to do it. So Connor has graciously offered to share his Calendly link below as well. So if you'd like to book a call and ask him a follow-up question, or maybe a question about the services or Cairo data or anything in between, appreciate you offering that as well, Connor. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Happy to be here, Michael. This is awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, I know people are going to get a lot out of this talk, and really appreciate you joining us. And yeah, looking forward to staying in touch, and appreciate you coming on.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Connor. Talk to you soon.